up, wake up. You've got the power. You've got my people in.
Welcome to Arise Unhinged. Thank you for joining us tonight. We are so blessed by your presence and your faithfulness to the Arise Unhinged encounters. For those of you who are joining us for the very first time, we extend to you a very special welcome, and we thank you for joining us as well. Well, we moved this weekend.
And we are still married. Today, as we began to look at this time, it is a God moment. I was studying the passage in Isaiah and for our encounter for today, and I could not get the computer to cooperate with me. Our Wi-Fi was canceled because we were not in an area that it was covered. So we were unable to pair our equipment to function properly. And then I looked and saw the ink light on the printer was blinking, saying that the ink was out, and so there were no copies to be made. In these moments, I just stop all my planning, all my preparation, and ask God, God, what do you want us to do? How do you want us to proceed? And to put Pastor Yo on the same page. Today's encounter is about clutter, grief. It is about baggage and letting go. Yeah. At one point in our moving, the stuff seemed to be multiplying. It was an emotional roller coaster, wanting to project and blame Pastor Yo for so much junk in the house, but underneath, angry with myself that I allowed so many things to accumulate, and still finding myself unable to release some things that would no longer add value to my next journey.
I was trying to make sense out of the chaos and the clutter and the guilt I felt for having my son and the others wait on me while I was still trying to figure out what things to take with us.
Yes.
My daughter-in-law said to me, people don't realize the tasks that are really before you right now. She said, you are trying to accomplish more than just moving. Moving is one task in itself, but the process of sorting through all of the things in your place and of letting go of some things is a totally different task.
My. And so, after leaving Kainos, where we pastored for 17 years, we downsized from 4,500 square foot custom-built home, and afterwards we needed a place to live. And we received a grace gift from one of our members, Nakia Payne, who allowed us to stay with her for 6 months. Yes. 6 years ago, we moved into Providence Place Cottages. It was a place about 900 square feet. It was a few blocks from where we had pastored for over 17 years. And we looked everywhere to find a place to live and could not find a place at all. The search for a place in itself was humbling. The last place we looked for, we found at a senior living place for 55 and over. It was called Providence Place. The word providence means God providing protective and spiritual care. It was a time of grieving, a time of being restored, a time of receiving comfort and care. God knew what we needed and where we needed it. It is the place where we wrestled with our insecurities, wrestled with our insignificance, and wrestled with our value. It was a time of provided for Minister Viola, Yolande's mother and my mother-in-law, to provide care for her. And we had the time and the flexibility to do so.
Yes, Providence Place.
Yes.
Inside the word providence is the word provide. Although many things had changed for us, our finances, our relationships, our physical and emotional well-being, God provided for every need that we had.
Yes, yes.
David said it best in Psalm 37:25 when he said, I have been young and now am old.
Yes, yes.
Yet I have never seen the righteous forsaken,
never seen.
nor his seed begging for bread. I am a witness that God will make a way where there seems to be no way.
God works in mysterious ways. God sharpened some skills, created new ones, aligned us with other ministries, and changed our focus to what God is doing in this season in our life.
Yes.
Every move had been a move of release, of letting go, of grasping something new. And here we are on Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and the YouTube channel, talking about Arise Unhinged, the uncluttered, the unencumbered.
Yes.
Stand up and be counted. Reflect God's brilliance right here in our home. And as I was going through all these things in my possession, I was actually looking at things here that we needed to focus on.
A move of release. Many of you know that letting go and releasing is not easy.
No, it's not.
What I have come to understand in this move is that there first needs to be a time of letting go.
Yes, yes.
Of separation, if you will.
Exactly.
However, part of letting go, Pastor Joe, involves remembering the memories. Then there is the move itself, which carries its own burden.
Yes.
As I was going through all the things in my possession, I was actually remembering the good and the not so good. Some were very painful to relive.
Yes, yes.
As I began to read programs and looked at workshops and sermons and pictures, I was actually grieving the losses. For many of the memories were of people and friends, family who are no longer here.
Wow. Yes.
The greatest one being my mother.
Yes, yes.
It's been a little over a year and a half since she went to be with the Lord. But I had kept so much of her things with me. Clothes, stuffed animals, letters. It's ironic because part of the reason I wanted to move was to get away from the place where she suffered and made her transition. Yet, you cannot let go of what you choose not to acknowledge, along with the pain or the joy associated with it.
That's it. That's it.
The church that we founded and pastored for 17 years was the next part of my grief. We still had loads of files and budgets and staff meeting notes. Every leadership retreat, 17 years of them. Membership lists, Bible studies, celebrations.
Stuff.
It was time to let most of that go. The weight of the grief was emotionally draining, but it was a necessary work that my soul needed.
There's always some drama in the Herron-Palmore household because there are a lot of dramatists there. We had come from the Arctic blast, overcome that in the devastation in Texas. We had no power for 3 days, no Wi-Fi, but we had water. But we had no heat to boil the water. We had stocked up on water from previous hurricane crises. And so we managed boiling the water. But this past Thursday, we made an appointment with Habitat for Humanity to come and pick up the furniture, the washer and dryer that we wanted to donate because we had both of them at the new place. The representative came, and I had mentioned to him that the connectors were hard to remove on the washer. And I asked him if he had tools that would be able to remove them, and he said he did. Once he had declined some of the furniture, he loaded the dryer on the truck and came back and then loaded the washer. I kept hearing various noises coming from the room being made as he was trying to fix and disconnect the washer. Yeah. And then I heard a sound of gushing water. Palmores, you have a problem. It's hot water too.
Hot water.
The water is rushing from the utility room to the kitchen to the bathroom, to the garage, to the bedroom, soaking everything in its path, including our boxes that we had been preparing for the move. I called management, and it took the maintenance crew some time to get there to rescue us.
They not only turned the water off in the utility area, but they turned all the water off. We called again and asked if someone would clean up the water. The vacuum person came much later. We called again about someone coming to repair the damage. That was on a Thursday. Friday came, still no water. Saturday came, no water. Sunday came, no water.
There was no water for 4 days, and we had to clean the place before moving out, and with water being carried in and out from outside faucets.
Yeah.
Things happen.
Yes, they do.
Life happens.
Yes.
And one of my favorite verses found in the Message version of Lamentations 3, the 28 through the 30th verses. Lamentations, the 3rd chapter, the 28th through the 30th verses. And it reads, when life is heavy and hard to take, go off by yourself. Enter the silence. Bow in prayer. Don't ask questions. Wait for hope to appear. Don't run from trouble. Take it full face. The worst is never the worst.
I love that passage. Don't run from trouble. Take it full face.
Yes.
For the worst is never the worst. So what did we learn through our moving experience?
Yes, what did we learn?
First, we learned that you need to give yourself enough time and grace to remember, to grieve, and to let go as part of the moving process.
Yes.
Secondly, we learned that you need to allow for the unexpected. Stuff happens.
Stuff happens.
Thirdly, we learned that having a loving set of family and friends to help and to support you is definitely necessary.
Yes, it is. A shout out then to my firstborn, Joseph Palmore, who valiantly, courageously dared to take on this mammoth move for his parents. And we are grateful for you.
Yes, we are.
And we're grateful to you. And we love you.
Yes, we do.
It would not have happened without you.
Yes.
And thank you to family and friend Herb Flowers.
Yes.
Who always rises to the occasion when we need help or any assistance. Thank you for coming on Saturday and on Sunday and staying to the end. Thank you very much, sir. And thank you to my soldier, political pundit, antagonist, protagonist, Tyrone Neely. My 79-year-old walking buddy for 6 years, who always outwalks me. You honored us with your work and with your assistance. And to my nephew, Caleb, who is unmatched with stamina and with strength and energy and a great capacity to move fluidly and professionally. Thank you, my nephew. I thank you, too, to my daughter-in-law, Kate, who made sure we had a bed assembled and ready for us to have restful sleep on the night, and loading and transporting furniture or whatever was needed.
Yes.
Thank you, my love. And thank you to my sister-in-law, who traveled from Minnesota, Deidre Herron-Slap, for refreshing us with meals this week, that had been tremendously delicious, and providing much needed items for our kitchen and assisting in unpacking, along with Dana, my other sister-in-law, and Caleb, our niece. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
And to thank you for my little worker and grandson, Lincoln. Love, love.
Finally, the most important lesson that we learned was there is a spiritual component, and that is we must be willing to let go of our former way of life.
Yes.
The successes as well as the failures. This lesson is applicable not just when you move, but whenever you are transitioning and having to let go.
Yes.
We must remember that we have to be willing to let go of our former way of life. Sister Meg Funk, a contemplative author, says God's callings are multiple. Callings are dynamic,
yes,
and they change over time. Some are lifelong and some end. The question, my brothers and sisters, that we must ask ourselves is, what do I need to relinquish or leave behind because it no longer serves or supports my calling right now? Let me just say that again. The question that we need to ask whenever we're facing a transition is, what do I need to relinquish or leave behind because it no longer serves or supports my calling right now? It's a letting go of unnecessary things, of unnecessary problems, of unnecessary people, if you will. This is still a great time while we're still quarantining to get rid of clothes, material things, clutter that is unnecessary for what you are being called to right now.
Right now.
Where there is a before and after, some loss and grief are involved. Wherever there is a before and after, some loss and grief are involved. We are letting go of something that was once important to us, but no longer needed in our lives now. Transitions begin with an ending, but they end with a new sense of purpose and direction. During this Lenten season, I want to encourage you to reflect upon your life. What might God be inviting you to leave behind so that you might live your calling more fully to serve God and others? What do I need to be set free from so that I can minister in this calling unencumbered and unbothered?
Thank you for letting us share our moving experience with you tonight. You are family to us, and we hope that you have been blessed by this encounter. If you have, consider sowing a seed into this ministry. $ Pastor Yolande as our cash app. $ Pastor Yolande. YOLANDE as our cash app. And don't forget to share this with your family and with your friends. All of our Arise Unhinged encounters remain on the Facebook page, Instagram page, and our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel today. We will be live again on next Thursday at 8:30 a.m. May God help you to let go of those things that no longer serve you or your calling. Share with us anything that you want to share from this encounter from ariseunhinged@gmail.com. ariseunhinged@gmail.com.
As we said earlier, we are operating with a deficit right now with no internet, so we won't end with music, but maybe Pastor Joe will sing something.
I think I'll just hum it for tonight. God bless you tonight.
We love you.
We love you. Have a great day and a great week.
Wake up, wake up. You've got the power. You've got the
My people in the